This podcast is brought to you by Men's T Clinic. Men's T Clinic is the team I trust with my total wellness optimization. So should you. 5 DFW locations with North Frisco, El Dorado Parkway at Dallas North Tollway. Now open. Call 972-GO-MEN'S-T or visit mensteclinic.com.
A huge NBA draft and free agency period is up next for the Dallas Mavericks. We're going to talk with NBA insider Ryan McDonough, brought to you by Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, as we're off and running hour number 3 of the G-Bag Nation live in Oxnard, California at Cowboys training camp. And a good afternoon, Ryan. How the heck are you?
Gentlemen, I'm doing great. Always good to be on with you guys.
Oh, it's so good to have you. What's the buzz right now on Damian Lillard? Is he going to become available with the Trailblazers?
I don't think anytime soon. I think what Damian Lillard did was set himself up to potentially request a trade in the future if the front office with the Blazers is very aggressive trying to upgrade their roster. It seemed like the strategy there, at least initially, was to make a coaching change. Terry Stotts went out, Chauncey Billups came in, and then they were going to run a similar group back next year. And then Damian Lillard was pretty vocal and adamant that he did not think that was good enough. So I expect them to continue to be aggressive. Basically what Lillard did was he tried to position himself where if the organization doesn't get a lot better next year and make moves as far as trading young players and draft picks to bring in more veteran talent to help them win right away, he set himself up to potentially ask for a trade down the road and in the future, but I don't think that's something that happens in the short term. I think Portland will be aggressive and try to upgrade their roster to compete with Dame and try to win in the playoffs.
Now, Ryan, we were actually just talking about Aaron Rodgers and how he hates his front office. And it's interesting, guys who have contracts with years remaining. And over the course of your career, did you notice a big difference in guys that are under contract into future years and the amount of power they could sort of wield within the team and that you had to kind of adjust?
It's a good question. So, I mean, it starts at the top of the pyramid, obviously, in terms of talent with the Aaron Rodgers and Damian Lillards, the future Hall of Famers. Those guys have a lot of power and a lot of clout regardless of where they are contractually. I'd say generally speaking, the star players have more power closer to the end of their contract because then there's the chance they could always leave in free agency. And whereas the veteran players who are role players or maybe have underperformed their contracts, if they're unhappy early in the contract, that can be a difficult situation for a different reason because you could get stuck with those guys and you could not be able to move them if the other teams around the league don't view their value is commensurate with the contract. So it's certainly a delicate balancing act. It can change quickly. We've seen pretty public examples of it. I think what's really changed now, guys, is with the increased media attention and also the ease of social media, players are being a lot more vocal with their unhappiness, especially those who are star players and those in particular under contract for a number of years. If they don't like a situation, they're not going to necessarily be quiet and toe the company line anymore. They're a lot less hesitant to speak up about that than they have been in the past.
Ryan, we had on Jason Kidd the other day, and we're interviewing him, and he says we asked him about having some say in personnel and all that, and he said, no, I don't want to. I just want to coach the team. Is that a GM's dream right there with like a coach that doesn't want to be involved with personnel?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's true, but it would be true.
I know. I was just thinking. I was like going, I wonder if I was a GM and the coach didn't care. Like, hey man, you do whatever you want to do. We'll be fine. I'll just coach the team. Have you ever? You've never been in one of those situations, right?
Yeah, Jason would be one of the few, maybe the only NBA head coach I've been around who feels that way. Who just to show up at training camp and I'll coach him up. That is very rare and unusual. Look, it's a collaborative process, especially with the Mavs organization. As you guys know, Mark Cuban has done an excellent job owning the team. He's very involved. Nico Harrison obviously will be the point person now for their deals. It seems like Michael Finley is going to be involved at a high level as well, as is Jason Kidd. So I think that's one of the misconceptions, guys, of these organizations is that it's one person at the top, whether that guy has the president or GM title, who makes all the decisions unilaterally and in a vacuum. That rarely, if ever, happens in today's NBA. So it's a collaborative process, again, with a number of people having voices in the room. And but don't for a second think that Jason Kidd doesn't care that he's not going to speak up when they ask him for his opinion on players.
Yeah, but Ryan, too many cooks in the kitchen on that situation. I know you're probably not going to bash the Mavs, but, I mean, a lot of voices there, right? That's not – we're not going that way, right?
Well, at the end of the day, guys, it's important to know who the decision maker is in each organization. And in my opinion, in Dallas, that's Mark Cuban.
Sure.
Nico Harrison and Jason Kidd and Michael Finley and all these guys will give their input. But at the end of the day, it's Cuban's team. He's been involved in the decision-making process in the past. Unlike some other owners who are involved, frankly, he seems pretty good at it. The franchise has been one of the best in the league over the last couple decades. So, I think as long as everybody knows that, I think where you get into trouble is, when people internally, as far as the employees, fight that, or when there's some owners who kind of have that clout and make those decisions but act like they don't. I think that's where there's friction and tension. It's like anything else, guys, whether you're on a team, doing media, or whatever it may be. It's as long as everybody understands their roles and knows what the deal is coming in, then the expectations are what they are, and you try to meet them and do the best you can within the constraints of the job.
It's former Suns GM Ryan McDonough with us. Do you think Jason Kidd's going to make Luka a better coach? I mean, better player?
I think Jason.
Yeah, long term here.
I know what you mean. No, I know what you mean. I think, Jason's playmaking ability at that size. I mean, he's one of the most similar players to Luka Doncic if you look back over the last 20, 30 years that we've had in our league. So, I think that'll help. I really think, honestly, guys, the thing that will make Luka Doncic the best version of himself is getting another playmaker, getting a secondary playmaker. Jalen Brunson does a nice job of that in a bench role, but I think they need another one or somebody at a higher level than Brunson to alleviate some of the ball handling responsibilities. And that's one of the interesting things I've heard, guys, some of the scuttlebutt around the league, talking to folks with different teams. It seems like under the previous regime, Donnie Nelson and Rick Carlisle, they were more targeting big men in free agency. Now it does seem like they've shifted toward perimeter playmakers, maybe some of the top guards. Keep an eye on a Kyle Lowry, a Mike Conley, maybe even a Chris Paul in free agency. If those guys are off the board, maybe they make a run at Lonzo Ball or somebody like that. But that's what I would recommend if I were in the Mavs front office. I do think they need a secondary ball handler and playmaker to alleviate all the pressure and responsibility that the great Luka Doncic has had on his shoulder over the past few years.
Yeah, Ryan, okay, I'm going to shift you over to the draft a little bit. I know the Mavs not involved so much in this draft, but are you hearing anything about the first overall pick being moved at all? Are the Pistons going to make this pick, or are your guys, all your sources telling you, hey, man, this thing might be moved on draft night?
I think they're very likely to keep the pick, guys. They put a high bar on the number one pick. Most people around the league think it's going to be Cade Cunningham, the talented 6'8" guard out of Oklahoma State. So he's looking likely to go number one, although Jalen Green, the talented shooting guard who played for the G League Ignite this past year, really wowed the Pistons front office in a workout. So I don't think it's an open and shut thing, guys. Like I personally don't think there's a huge gap between Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green and Evan Mobley, who I have second and third on my board. And I say that not to diss Cunningham in any way. I just think it's a really strong draft at the top. I think all those guys, and maybe Jalen Suggs out of Gonzaga in the top four, I think they all have a chance to be all-stars. I think it's a loaded draft class, especially at the top. So I think it's likely to be Cunningham one to Detroit, and I think they're likely to keep the pick, but that doesn't mean they won't still answer the phone. And if I were them, if it were close between Cunningham, Green, and Mobley, maybe I'd listen to offers, especially from Houston at 2 or Cleveland at 3, and see if somebody blows you away if you do think it's close between those top 3 players.
Ryan, thanks for your time. Enjoy your off season.
Thanks, guys.
There he is, Ryan McDonough, Odyssey NBA Insider, brought to you by Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. We know life's busy, so come to Shell to fill up, save up, and snack up to make the most of the stop you need to make. One of the big topics out here at Cowboys camp is the running game. How much of a priority is it going to be for this football team? You had Mike McCarthy discussing it on the podium, and we'll get you some of his thoughts coming up here at the top of the hour. But here's Yahoo reporter Charles Robinson, a guy who was here last week when they opened up camp. And he was on the podcast called You Pod to Win the Game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cut 2 right here. Mike's offensive philosophy. Here's Charles Robinson.
An underplayed storyline for the Cowboys is how much Mike McCarthy spent this offseason talking with people inside the organization, particularly from the offensive standpoint, about how much he really wants to get back to establishing being able to run the football for the Dallas Cowboys. Like he really, from talking to this individual, they were like, look, if Dak is throwing the ball 50 times a game, we failed what Mike wanted to do. Like from talking to Mike, he's like, this is absolutely going to be a team that at the very least, if we are not run dominant, he was like, we are going to be very balanced. Mike wants a very balanced team where we are running the football a lot, and we do want not just Ezekiel Elliott, but Tony Pollard. We want these guys worked into this, and it is really important to Mike that we establish that. And, you know, he just said, look, that's an underplay. So, and this, it was interesting because this guy was like, you know, you hear all this stuff about, you know, Dak's going to light it up and how great the wide receivers are and all this stuff. And he's like, look, there's no doubt that's a strength, but Mike does not want us to be this team where Dak's got to throw the ball a ton, because it means that we didn't get better defensively. Yeah. And it means that the offensive line's not as healthy as we think it is. And they clearly really like how the offensive line's coming along.
Is there any way that means they're going to be running on first down more? A little Back to the Future at all?
You know, hearing the way that Charles said it, I think you could read into it and think, yeah. But whoever he is talking to, I've heard McCarthy himself at the podium enough that I know that McCarthy knows the numbers.
Yeah.
Like, McCarthy knows what good strategy is in today's NFL. So, like, just off of Charles' audio, I would think that the answer would be yes. But off having heard from Mike McCarthy and heard from Kellen Moore, I don't believe it.
I think that maybe that what Charles just might have told you with McCarthy wanting to run the ball, he's terrified of his defense.
Yeah.
That's what it might be. You know, and again, we always laugh about Krusty's wanting to shorten the game and stuff like that. And, you know, how do you Rod Marinelli and Chris Richard said, hey, in 2016, we don't need Ramsey. Pick Zeke. He's going to help us more than Ramsey's going to help us. So what Charles might have got there was Mike McCarthy saying, we might not be very good on defense, and I got to figure out a way to protect them. And running the ball might be the best way to protect them.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to see them come out with a game plan to establish the run like we had in the Jason Garrett years. But are we hearing that it's going to be ultra important that if we do have a lead in the second half that maybe we can go on a couple of 8-minute drives?
I wonder if they spent the off season, and we could ask the question. I mean, these coaches study teams. I wonder if they studied the Cleveland Browns. You know,
you can block
study the Tennessee Titans.
If you can get 5.5 a pop, running's fine.
Like, okay, how do we protect our defense? Even though Cleveland's got a great defense, you know, but still, how do you protect the quarterback? How do you keep the quarterback from making mistakes?
Do you think we're clear of the stubborn, we're going to keep on running to wear him down? I mean, it wasn't that long ago, and Kellen Moore participated in that.
Yeah.
You know, in
probably against his will. He was probably being held hostage. Something weird happened there behind the scenes.
I think with the offensive line the way it is, and I think he's going to throw the ball. I think he's going to try. I think it's going to be throw to get a lead and then run to maintain lead. I think that's what he's going to try and do. But listening to Charles describe that, it sounded to me like McCarthy is terrified of that defense. He feels like he's got the back and the line. He doesn't have the tight ends, the point of attack blockers on, you know, that surface he was talking about.
Yeah.
But what he has is he's got to figure out, like, how bad is this defense really going to be?
But it's not wanting to run it because you don't trust the passing game. I think it's wanting to be better at it so you can be an unstoppable offense.
I think you're right about that.
All right, it's time now for Jeff and Brian's segment of the day. And, boys, it's Wednesday. Where are we going?
Well. On a Wednesday, we'll play Jeopardy next.
Welcome back, G-Bag Nation. It is time now for Jeff and Brian's segment of the day, a Wednesday at 4:20. And thankfully, David Hellman is not here because I'm still recovering from the whooping he put on me, but I have a feeling I might be in for another one. Okay, segment here is brought to you by the Frankels. If you're hurt in an accident, it's not your fault. Call the Frankels at 214-333-3333 or go online to truckwreck.com. Jeff.
Thanks, Gavin. As the sole adjudicator of the rules of Jeopardy, I have an important announcement. Dave Hellman's title is being defended by Jane Slater of the NFL Network. Mm-hmm. So she is the current champion despite never having played before. So welcome, Jane, and good luck defending your title.
I love these rules.
Yes. The rules in Jeopardy are there are 4 categories. Each category has a 1, 2, 3, and 400-point answer. The way I decide who buzzes in first is whose hand goes up first. When your hand goes up, I will stop reading the clue. So don't get too far ahead of yourself, and make sure you answer in the form of a question or I punish people. Categories today are 12, and other bigs.
Not the Big 12.
Not the Big 12. 12 and other bigs. No longer Olympic. X's. Olympic medals.
I have a few of those.
Those are you have a few Olympic medals?
No, X's.
Oh, okay. So you'll be good at that category. So those
You're
are
a
our
Texas X.
Exactly.
Those are our 4 categories for today, Jane, and you control the board because you're the champ.
Let's go X's. I'm feeling spicy today.
Okay, X's. Here we go. This Batman actor is now back with his ex, Jennifer Lopez, and was recently photographed with a handful. Brian.
Who is Ben Affleck?
That is Ben Affleck.
He struck first.
Yes, it was. Jane, clapping before you put your hand up actually does not.
I was hoping you'd see the visual and audio representation of that,
Yes.
and then clue in on me first.
The rule is this:
Okay.
clap doesn't get you buzzed in.
Okay.
Brian, you
I
now
was
control the
I
board.
was startled there for a minute. Let's go.
And just know this too: Brian's mom listens and texts him.
I
Yeah.
love your
And she
mom.
gets-
She texts me too.
She gets so mad that he doesn't do well, so you should pull for Brian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, she loves you more than me.
I'm a
so
fan of your mother.
Absolutely. My mom is a huge fan. Okay, let's go medals for 100, please.
Olympic medals for 100. This is the current commissioner of the NBA. Gavin.
Who is Adam Silver?
Adam Silver. Silver would be an Olympic medal.
Like that?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, all
Yes.
right. Let's go Olympic medals for 200.
This was Rod Marinelli's nickname for former Cowboys D lineman Nick Hayden. Gavin.
What is Golden Cock?
That is correct, yes.
Yes.
And that was one of the ones I was.
Because he was like a rooster on top of a barn.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
he'd point right where you needed to go.
Gavin, yes.
Honestly,
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
Gavin.
the answers are in my head. I'm delayed with my hand. Can you guys just not sense that I know the answer?
No, that's not how it works. No, the hand part is very, very important.
Yeah, it is.
Gavin.
Olympic medals for 300.
What?
She rose to fame on the NBC sketch comedy program Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In before going on to receive the Academy Award and Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress for her performance in Cactus Flower.
What?
Brian.
Who is Goldie Hawn?
Goldie Hawn.
Okay.
Looks amazing.
Ooh, crusty Hawn.
Looks amazing. Her and Kurt Russell.
Brian tends to struggle in the game, so I try to make sure one of the clues is from the 60s or 70s to try to get him
Listen,
going.
if you're a fan of First Wives Club, Overboard, I mean, Goldie Hawn.
Rusty
I don't know what
Hawn.
those things are.
Okay.
I like those movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
Goldie Hawn had it going on.
Did
Yeah.
she?
Overboard.
What
Was
was
that
the other
Kurt
one?
Russell?
What was the sports movie she was in?
Goldie Hawn.
Was she a coach?
Yeah,
Or-
remember? The Bad News Bears.
Was
Was
she
she in
in Bad
that?
News Bears?
Yeah.
The original?
I don't know
could
who
be
she
wrong.
is. I just knew that was a name with
She
the word
looks
gold
great.
in
She
it.
does look great. She's
Oh, she does look pretty good. She's 75.
Let's go for 12 and other bigs for 100, please.
Oh, she's
Jeff.
married to Kurt Russell?
Yeah, she. Well, no, they're.
Oh,
Partners.
they're just together?
They're partners for a long
Power
time.
couple. Yeah.
Which one
True
did you
love.
say?
I went 12 and other bigs for 100, please, Jeff.
Real name Christopher Wallace. He's widely considered one of the greatest rappers of all time. Gavin.
Who is the notorious B.I.G.?
That would be the B.I.G.
I just think I have a
Big.
delayed response.
It's
Just keep your hand up.
I'm just like,
So-
Baggy.
when Hellman's not here, that's why Gavin wins, because he just responds in real time, and Lucius will sit in there and be like, and make sounds and forget to
Yes.
raise his hand, and Brian will just sit there and be like, oh, yeah, I knew. I just didn't. Sorry.
I like to raise when I'm 80% sure I know the answer.
Yeah, that's a good time. That's a good
Okay,
time.
12 and other bigs for 200, Jeff.
The half of Outcast, not named Andre 3000. Gavin.
Who is Big Boy?
see, it's like right on my tongue.
I'll tell you what, you're there, Jane. You're really close. You're really close.
I love that Tim Collins has the Zoom on Jane. So
Sorry, Bryce Butler's here. Can I call a what
Oh,
is it?
she's calling a timeout while winning.
No, can I?
Oh, you're not winning.
What is it where you call like your
Oh, you want to sub him in?
you
Phone
know
a
where you
friend?
call
Phone
it
a friend?
the phone a friend.
If you want to put Bryce Butler on instead
I
of
feel
you,
like he's kind of a bigger get than me, right?
if you want to. Bryce, you want to play a random trivia game that has nothing to do with the Cowboys?
I mean, he's pivoted. He's
Welcome in,
now a
Bryce.
golf influencer. I don't know if you guys are familiar
Oh
with
no,
that.
yeah, he's got a great swing. Hey, what's up?
We are in the
Let's see.
middle of the game, but it would be unprecedented. It's been a historic day on the show. If you'd like to take Jane's seat or hang out and talk football with us
Yeah, what the
later,
hell, Jane?
that'd be cool
My
too.
hand-eye coordination and my brain aren't functioning today. So even though the answers are in my head, I've got a bit of a delayed response.
Yeah, I'm just going to read clues, and when you know the answer, just raise your hand.
All right, here we go.
All right, former Cowboy wide receiver Bryce Butler taking over for Jane Slater. Jane had 0 points when you subbed in, so you're in a really good spot. You're not.
Well played, Jane.
Yeah, good job, Jane.
I need you to put points on the board for the team.
Yeah, right now Gavin Dawson Gavin Dawson has 600.
That's the problem. You have to raise your hand.
Yeah.
Okay,
just
we're going to
pop
need to get that
on there.
headset on right there. Get that
Here we
mic
go.
on.
So-
Yeah.
What's up?
Right now, Gavin Dawson has 600. Brian has 400. You have 0. But it's
Okay.
not your fault.
I know.
It's not your fault.
I just sat down.
How are you, Bryce?
I'm good.
How's your golf game?
It's all right. I'm at 6.2 right now.
What does that mean? Handicap?
Handicap.
Okay.
That means I can shoot a 75 or shoot a 95.
Okay.
You never know.
I'm the same range, but it's more like 92 to 110.
Yeah.
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 Do you have your
Happens.
name on your bag? That's what I want to know.
The bag that I'm carrying right now, no, I do not.
Okay, that's when you get really great at this game, you put your name on your bag.
But you know
That's
what's
what you do.
weird with golf is like all the customizing stuff. Like the golf world doesn't really like it. Like when I first started, I was like, "Oh, stab bag, name on
Gotta
it,
have your-
logo
or
on
your,
it,
your college,
like everything,
yeah,
right?"
yeah.
And then I was going places, and people were like looking at me funny. I was like, "Yo, what's wrong?" They're like, "Are you on tour? Like, why do you have a stab bag with your name on it?" So like now it's just like just plain bag, no name.
Burn it all and start over?
Yeah, plain bag.
Iron covers too recently.
Oh, well, Jane.
You have
yeah.
iron covers?
Yeah, nobody uses iron covers. Nobody uses iron covers.
Brand new sick.
We don't have that
I don't
mic on
think
for
you're
some
hot
reason.
right now, Jane.
Yeah.
Well, let me rephrase that. That
you
sounds
would
weird.
have
Me
iron
too.
covers.
For me to ruin
And they're
your
probably- and
entire
they're probably
radio
like leather.
broadcast.
Nah, we're good, man.
And they're probably like leather too.
Well, Colt knows a little bit of a flex.
Yeah.
He played on tour. He's from Dallas. He hooked me up with a brand new set of Callaway Reva Golf.
Yep.
So I wanted to protect them. And my boyfriend literally said, if you show up to the course like this again,
I'm
I'm,
not playing
never
with
playing
you.
golf with you.
Yeah, iron covers are
And
for
then I
amateurs.
put it to social media, and it was an outcry. Like I was able to literally bring people together
Yeah.
with their collective anger towards this. And Gavin's like, get her out of here. She's ruining my show.
No, wild card. There's now 4
It's
players.
Jeff's segment. I don't mind.
Yeah, my segment doesn't look. There's now 4 players in the game. We're just going to play the game and raise your hand if you know the answer, okay? Gavin,
All right.
you're
All right.
controlling the board.
Okay, we got no longer Olympic for 100, please, Jeff.
All right, this is Olympic sports that were once in the Olympics but aren't anymore. A contest in which 2 teams pull at opposite ends of a rope. Brian,
What is a tug of war?
that is tug of war.
Oh,
Tug
we're
Good
playing
answer,
it like
Brian.
Jeopardy?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
This guy sits at home at 6 o'clock every day after Wheel of Fortune, and he definitely knows how to play this game. Him and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
But you're an encyclopedia though, dog. Like you're older.
But he's also slow.
I'm really slow.
His reactions aren't good. You'll
Played
get
a couple games out of helmet, Bryce. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm a little slow at times.
tug of war was in the Olympics from 1900 to 1920.
Fun
Bring it
fact.
back.
Shoot, it should still be in all the other freaking sports that are in it. That
It's true.
should
I was
be like
watching-
3-on-3 basketball.
I was
Yeah.
watching kayaking last night. It's badass.
Rowing's cool though. It's tough too.
It's tough.
It's tough.
They've got them in fake rapids that they build, and they got to
And
go.
they gotta
up
go
and
through
I like
down.
that. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
It was so
Nice.
fun.
Is this
That's
my
cool.
blonde coming through too? I didn't realize where are the Tokyo surfers surfing?
I mean, there's water.
They're on the
in
ocean.
Japan.
I know,
Yeah.
but big enough waves that you can
They
have
were
an
worried
Olympic
about that. They were
contest?
worried about, but they said the waves were actually pretty good for the Americans going over. Were like they were worried about smaller waves and having to paddle a lot.
Yeah.
and they said, nah, it was pretty good for them to get out there. So
Chill out, Gavin. You have control of the board.
I actually
think Brian
do.
has control
Brian,
of the
you have
board, yeah.
control of the
Chill
board.
out. Yeah.
Don't talk back to the administrator.
I
now.
will talk back all I want. Let's go with X's for 200, please.
X's for 200. This
X's.
musician's, it's the
Like
letters EX or the
Okay.
letter X will be in there somewhere.
okay.
This musician's real name is Montero Lamar Hill, and he's known for his song Old Town Road.
Oh, Lil Nas X.
Okay, buzz it. Yes, just saying it.
Bruce.
Yeah,
Yes,
you guys are on the
Oh,
same team.
who is Lil Nas X?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Us
support
Us
that.
collectively.
Yeah.
We have
Yes.
points.
Both your hands went
So
in.
where's the board? I have control now.
You have the control of the board.
Yes, now the categories are X's, no longer Olympic, 12 and other bigs, and Olympic medals.
12 and other bigs.
Yeah, because the Big 12 is in the news.
Okay, for what?
So the answers will all have something to do with the word big.
Okay, so what is Big 12 or whatever?
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
300.
Come on.
300
team
for
is
that.
in
Yeah,
trouble.
there we go.
Let's
There we go.
Come on.
This actor is known for playing Jim Levinstein in the American Pie comedy film series.
Oh, I
Gavin.
I don't watch those.
Who is Jason Biggs?
That is Jason
Let's
Biggs.
go.
100%.
Let's go. It's a good pull
Yes,
for
sir.
me.
Wow, Gavin.
12 and other bigs
I
for
never watched
400.
those.
His post-match routine in the WWF often included handcuffing his defeated opponents to the ring ropes and beating them with a nightstick.
Ooh.
Gavin.
Who is the big boss man?
That is the big boss man.
That's right in my
I
wheelhouse.
just got into wrestling. I wasn't adequately prepared
He
for
was
that
like
category.
the 80s, and
Yeah.
it was really a fast forward ahead of its time on police brutality. Gavin, where would you like to go?
No longer Olympic for 200, Jeffrey.
Okay, Jane, cover your ears. This race on the water was only in the Olympics in 1900 and 1908. It's also slang for putting your face between a pair of breasts. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
Got him.
Got him.
What is motorboating?
Motorboating. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Barrel for the win.
Yeah.
Motorboating was in the Olympics in
What the heck
1900
is going on right now?
and 1908.
This is how I felt my entire time at the fan.
Hey,
What
hey.
is going on?
This is pro broadcasting.
This is
No
pro
longer
broadcast.
Olympic for 300, Jeffrey.
This event was only played in the 1900
Why are
Olympics.
you talking like that?
What?
What's that?
What's the no longer 300?
Well, that's actually how
I'm a
Jeopardy
professional
is.
broadcaster here, sir.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You
Yeah.
killing us and then hitting us with the voice. I'm too fine.
Yeah.
This event was only played in the 1900 Olympics in Paris and is a game in which colored wooden balls are driven through a series of wickets. Brian,
What is croquet?
that is croquet.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was once upon a
I
time an
wasn't
Olympic
rich enough to
sport.
know about croquet growing up.
But I play golf every day.
I'm just now.
Not a cheap
Just
sport.
now.
You bring your clubs with you?
Just now.
You
Oh,
bring
yeah,
your
I
clubs
got
with
it.
everywhere?
Wait,
Yeah.
till I
it always
Why?
in his trunk. It gotta
I
be
came
in his
out
trunk.
here for golf.
It's dedication.
Okay,
Brian?
let's go with X's for 300, please.
X is for 300. MDMA or Molly is commonly known by this name, Gavin.
What is ecstasy?
That is ecstasy.
Yeah, that's right.
I was there after I saw his hand go up.
I told you, that's where he wins. He's quick. He's quick on the
Okay,
draw.
no longer Olympic for 400, Jeffrey.
A firearm competition in the 1900 Olympics where they killed 300 real-life birds before activists got it replaced with shooting at clay versions. Gavin.
What is skeet shooting?
No, that's what it's
Bryce.
called now. Oh, shoot. We played it on the old Mario game back in the day. What is it called when you shoot
What
the
is
bird?
skeet
See,
shooting?
you're thinking of duck hunt.
Yeah.
No, this
What
is
is
Not
duck
skeet
hunting?
shooting.
This would be pigeon shooting. They shot real-life
Wow.
pigeons in the 1900 Olympics. They killed 300 of them.
That's a minus 400 for
Say
Gav.
less, Jane. You're
Yeah.
just
Oh, you
literally
lose if
showing
you
your
miss.
hair color.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible by everybody. We're down to 400 on X's and 400 on Olympic medals.
Take X's for 400, Jeffrey.
On this show, Agents Scully and Mulder. Jane!
What is X-Files?
That is X-Files!
She's done it.
Woo!
Yes.
Sci-fi, I got you.
Final
Let's
clue,
go.
Olympic
There you go,
medals.
Jane.
This superhero is a humanoid alien with metallic skin who can travel through space with the aid of his surfboard-like craft.
Who is Silver Surfer?
Silver
Let's
Surfer!
go!
Underrated.
That was huge.
All right,
Let's
so-
go.
Big
Silver
play right-
Surfer, baby.
All right, we're going to Final Jeopardy.
was-
Jane and Bryce, you have 1,000. Brian, you have 800.
Oh,
Gavin,
oh.
that minus 4 got you a little bit, but you are at 1,400.
Okay.
Final category is called Hookers Here. Malik Hooker, he's here. So Hookers Here. Write down
I
your
just wanted to
wager.
make sure you clarified that.
Yes, Malik Hooker is
Okay.
here. I also want to clarify earlier in the segment when I said, Jane, I don't think you're hot. What I was saying is radio terms. Your mic was
We
not.
got to be crystal
registered.
clear these days, guys.
Everybody write down your wager for Hookers Here. Brian, you can wager up to 800. That team up to 1,000. Gavin up to
Bryce is so
1,400.
confused. He's like wagers and.
You guys are gonna go. You guys are gonna go 1,000. You're trying to win.
Okay,
You're
yeah,
putting
let's
it
go all
in.
in.
All right. Here is the clue. This actress. Don't say it out loud and don't raise your hand.
You gotta write it down.
This actress played a prostitute in the movie Pretty Woman. This actress played a prostitute in the movie Pretty Woman. Don't show anybody. Don't show anybody. Brian is going to be the first one to give us the answer with his 800 points as he's finishing it up over there. Brian, what'd you wager?
I wagered all 800.
And what'd you go with?
Julia Roberts.
Who is Julia Roberts? That puts Brian at 1,600.
Okay.
Jane Slater and Bryce Butler, how much did you wager? All of it.
1,000.
And what is your answer?
Through all my notes, you can see Julia Roberts.
Okay, yep, that is Julia Roberts. That puts you at 2,000, and the pressure's on Gavin.
Who's back? Who is Julia Roberts for 900, Jeffrey?
And that'll put you at 2,300 and make you the winner because Jane started slow and really cost Bryce a chance at a
It's all
championship.
good.
Story of my life.
It's all good. We were a
all
great
right, buddy.
team.
Well,
Came
it's
back.
it's nice to be champ once again. As a parting gift for either Bryce or Jane, I would like to offer an upcoming segment of the show, either today or tomorrow, whatever works best for you.
Oh, yeah, because this
our
was
people
just a
call
time
your
waste.
people.
Sorry, our boss is going to be so mad. Like, you put on
Sorry,
Bryce Butler,
Gavin.
you just played a
Sorry,
game.
Gavin.
Are you out of town already?
No, I'll be back tomorrow and
Right on.
Saturday. So,
Right on.
whenever you want to bring the show down, you just holler at your girl.
Hell yeah, I love bringing the show down. It's
What
my
do you think,
favorite
Bryce?
thing.
Could we talk some football with you?
Tomorrow?
Or right now?
We can do it now.
Yeah.
I
I'm
want to
leaving
talk
tomorrow.
to this guy.
Okay, all right. Let's
Guys,
do that.
It's always a pleasure.
Let's do that.
Bye, Jane.
Let's come
Bye,
back
Jane.
and talk some Cowboys here with Mr. Golf, the former Cowboys wide receiver, Bryce Butler, next right here on your home of the Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan. Training camp coverage is brought to you by Mortgage Financial Services over there, dreamlending.com, and Goody Goody Liquor. And right now on the Lifetime's Heating and Air hot seat, it's former Cowboys wide receiver Bryce Butler. And good afternoon. Thanks for sticking around.
Oh, yeah, all day. We're here, baby.
What brings you to Oxnard?
Y'all, actually, I was in L.A. for a scheduled trip that I scheduled like months ago to just shoot some golf content for the YouTube channel, and didn't even think that y'all were going to be out here. You know, I was just thinking that they would be back in Dallas. You know,
We
'cause of
thought
last
we were
year.
roping you into a segment, but you were roping us in to talk about your YouTube channel.
Maybe.
Is that what just happened?
Maybe. I hope, you know, Bryce Butler Golf on YouTube, holla at me. But anyways, no, like I was out here, and then I just saw some Instagram footage of practice, and I was like, that looks like Oxnard. They're in Oxnard. Then I hit, you know, the people I needed to hit and was like, can I get to practice? And I'm here.
When you're a former player, is that easy? You got phone numbers you can
I mean,
hit
it
up?
was easy to make sure I got the answers that I needed. But I mean, as far as what's going on now with COVID, no, because I couldn't really watch.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting in this room back here, which is funny because it was like the family section, and I'm with Lyle's wife and Dak's girl and Zeke, whatever, and I'm like, so this is the family area, but like y'all can't even really enjoy practice. Like there's like two tents that looks like the medical tents, like right in like half the side, and the other, I'm like, you can't even watch practice. Why are y'all here? Why do you want to come?
And they're on the far field today.
Yeah, and they're on the far field, and then they're going that way, which is like, I mean, typically, you rotate fields, so I don't know where they practiced yesterday and the day before.
Last 2 days they've been on the far one. Before that,
But in my mind, I'm like, I'm here today. Y'all need to be coming this way so I can watch practice,
So what'd you learn watching practice today, Bryce?
From what I can see, there's a lot of guys pulling vet moves, which I like to see, just because, like, the guys that were pulling them were younger when I was on the team with them. Like, obviously, I'm not saying Dak's not hurt or his shoulder's not sore, but, like, I laughed when I found out he wasn't practicing because I was like, oh, he couldn't do that when I was here. He was younger. He was a second-year guy. I'm still trying to prove himself. Gallup, same thing. I know he kind of flipped
That man
yesterday.
flipped over the fence.
It was funny because, like, I wanted to call him and be like, bro, you didn't have to do that. One, like, you didn't catch the pass. You had plenty of time and free hands to stop before the fence. I've been in camp here plenty of times, and nobody's flipped over the fence. But it was funny. So he wasn't practicing, and, Coop, I played with him in Oakland, so he's an older guy now. He didn't practice. So, like, I just I kind of smiled at it, like, these are the vets now, right? Like, these guys were, my young homies when I was on teams with them, and now they're, like, the big homies to the younger guys on the team. So, that made me smile. We're young on defense. They caught a couple picks today. But, like, y'all have seen this all the time, right? The offense always takes a little longer to get going than the defense. And that's just from the nature of what you do on both sides of the ball. So, I mean, I'm still excited, just waiting to see, what the guys look like when they come. I think y'all come to Arizona first.
Dude, second preseason game at the Hall of Fame game, and then
Hall of Fame game again.
Yeah.
Do we have like a contract?
Yeah, it was one of those. Jerry likes going to the Hall of Fame.
He loves it.
Well, they didn't have the.
They were supposed to play last year.
last year.
They were supposed to play last year, and they canceled the game. So they said, "Listen, we'll give you a mulligan.
Yeah,
Come on back."
Yeah. When I found out that y'all started soon, like earlier, and I was like, "Do we have a contract? Does Jerry have a contract in which they have to play like?"
He likes to go see his bust there. He likes to go in that room
Yeah.
and look at his bust there.
Cowboys they do numbers apparently. Apparently, people like to watch the Cowboys.
I mean,
play.
obviously, you know, what's understood doesn't need to be explained in that regard. But play. I mean, well, how many games they have this year preseason? 2,
4. Normally,
really?
everybody has 3. The Hall of Fame's extra. You do 4.
So we're getting the normal amount of preseason games.
Pretty much, yeah.
So people are
Instead of 5, though. It used
Instead
to
of
be
5, it's
instead of
4.
4.
It's Bryce Butler here with you on 105 through the Fan.
Bryce, let me ask you something. What's going on in Green Bay right now? If you're a veteran player, receiver up there and all that, with the whole thing with Aaron Rodgers and him, how do players look at that in the locker room? I mean, he's struggling with the front office. He's struggling. He's kind of coming out, telling, hey, I need this, need that, and other. How do your teammates? How would you focus on something like what's going on with Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers as a former player?
That's a great question. If I was up there, and I was just say I was like a third receiver or whatever up there catching 25, 30 balls a season, I would be like, well, I don't expect to get paid when it's my time to get paid. You know what I mean? Like, how can I expect the best for me when, like, the best freaking player probably that ever stepped foot in this organization is not getting treated, I guess, with respect. I would just be like, it's going to be hard for me to, get what I want to get. A guy like Devontae Adams, he probably has a little bit of an insider scoop talking to Aaron, figuring out, like, what Aaron wants and all that. So he's probably knows a little bit of information that the rest of us don't. So, like, he probably won't extend a contract there. Stuff like that, right? But, I mean, if I'm that third guy as well, I'm like, I need you to come back. If I want to increase my catch, numbers, like, I need you to come back.
So the players they'll side with the player.
Oh, we're always going to side with the player. I mean, even if it's like having a wife or a girlfriend, like, she can be wrong yelling at somebody in a room, and, like, you can know she's wrong. And you'll back her up in the room.
Right.
And then after that's over, like, you might look at it like, yo, that was some BS. Like, I don't know what you're thinking. Don't ever do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, like, you're always going to back your player up.
Right.
Always.
Bryce, are you surprised the Cowboys are still basically in the same situation that you guys were in 3 to 5 years ago, trying to take that step to the NFC Championship game?
Am I surprised? Let me answer this in the correct context. I say no, and the reason why I would say no, I'm not surprised, is because there's only 2 teams a year that make it there, and it's hard to get there. And unfortunately for us Cowboy fans or Cowboy alumni, we haven't been there since the mid '90s, right? Early '90s.
Yeah.
So that makes it tougher. That makes the stress levels high. Obviously, going into every season as a Cowboy fan or a Cowboy player, there's that expectation. You got Michael Irvin on TV talking about, oh, we going to do whatever. You got Stephen A. hating on us. You got Skip showing us love. You got Shannon hating on us. So and you're always on TV. So there's always that, are they going to make it? Are they going to make it? And Jerry says something like, we're going to do this, or, Dak's going to take us. You know what I'm saying? So there's always that expectation, but there's only 2 teams that can make it. So, like, is it like we stink because we haven't made it? No, like, there's good teams out there, and we just haven't been fortunate enough to get to that point. So I don't want to say, like, no without giving that context of being like, oh, Bryce Butler came in here and said no, like, they're terrible. No, it's just like, it's hard to get there. If they get there, I'm going to be happy. I'm not going to be, like, shocked. I'll just be like, let's get it. And when we get there, let's win this game so we can get to the Super Bowl and make something happen.
What do you think about the offense getting so much more passing involved over the last couple of seasons?
You know what? Kellen, I feel like Kellen's done a great job to the passing game ever since he took over. I always had that thought, like, dang, Kellen, like, why didn't you just coach in 17 instead of, like, being a player coach like he was when he was with us? Because I could have reaped some benefit of that. But anyways, it's good, but at the same time, I think, and this is the thing that happens with a new coaching staff after you have a staff or a guy that has been on the staff for like 10 or 11 years, and Coach Garrett, you try to change the mode of the team with the players that came from the old, from the old statue, with the other clay with that Coach, Garrett built. And so you got McCarthy that comes from Green Bay. You have a guy like, Aaron Rodgers. You're slinging the ball around. Aaron Rodgers is kind of just running it. Like, play comes in. I guarantee you, play comes in. Aaron doesn't like it. I got my play, right? Aaron's calling his play. It's going to make it happen. Nobody else is really doing that unless you have guys like that, right? So I'm fine with it. As a receiver, I love it. But at the same time, you don't want to see your team getting into a pass-happy offense and you can't control the time of possession. I think the biggest thing for us as Cowboys players and fans that are really into the game and know and understand the game, especially guys like you guys, you understand that we're at our best when we have the ball longer than the other team. When we can get the ball in the fourth quarter after a touchdown and have the ball for 6 minutes in the fourth quarter in the game because we're running the ball. So I love it, but at the same time, let's make sure we use it in moderation so we can get these wins.
We're running out of time, so I want to treat this like Radio Row and give you an opportunity to plug your Bryce Butler YouTube channel, Bryce Butler Golf. What are we going to find there?
Yeah, you're going to find me playing football. I mean, not football. You're going to find me playing golf with football athletes, NBA athletes, entertainers, celebrities. I was trying to get Dak on this year, but, obviously he was coming back from the ankle injury, so he was like, after this season, whatever, he'll get on there. So you're just going to see me having a good time and just showing people how fun the game of golf is. And, there's a lot of people that's untapped. There's a lot of untapped communities that are in the golf world, and, I just want those people to feel like they can play the game as well.
So you're making like a video of your round and the highlights and the fun times?
It's
streaming?
We're vlogging, and it could be any type of challenge. So like kind of how you did the Jeopardy game. We can figure out some type of way to play Jeopardy while we're playing golf.
Right on.
And we go and do it, and we just have a good time. It's fun. So you know how it is when you go out and play golf with your boys, and you might shoot a 95, 100, but you're having a good time. So that's what I'm trying to show.
Well, great to see you out here, Bryce.
No, good to see you guys too,
good to
man.
catch
it
up
feels
as
good
well.
to be in this. I feel like I'm about to go to my hotel room for a second and get some rest. So.
Go try.
That's good.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you. Take care. Best of luck to you on YouTube.
Yes,
all
sir.
right, there it is. Bryce Butler Golf. All right. When we come back, it's time for hour number 4 on 105.3 The Fan. We'll recap the top stories of the day, including why Dak Prescott missed today's practice. That's next.